Fuck Ronald Reagan, fuck Ronald Reagan, fuck Ronald Reagan, fuck Ronald Reagan. Yeah, just fucking around. Hey. Hey, Ron, I'm on your old ass. I didn't want to do it, but you made me do it. Fuck you, Ronald Reagan. Y'all shoulda never gave me freedom of speech. Hey, fuck Ron, hey. Fuck that old man, yo. I got something to say. Hey. Hey, fucked up haircut, so they called his ass Dutch. Pops always got fired like drinking too much. Ron old as shit, what kind of name is Dutch? But his early life boring, won't discuss it much. Dutch went to college, learned the power of strike. That's great, bet he'll always be this way, right? Get that boy a job, announce the scores for the Cubs. That job brought him to Hollywood. He got more shots than he ever should. Why Chicago had to show him love? That's why y'all ain't win a chip for 100 years. Had to pay some way for the future tears. Y'all was made to lose till Dutch bit the dust. You gave us Ron and got cursed from above. You hate Ronald Reagan too, shit, blame the Cubs. They fucked up but wasn't the only ones. Ron did 8 movies, 1938. They was all dookie, you can go ahead and hate. Ron read Reader's Digest, cover to cover. So all his co-stars moved when they sat down and ate. Let they feelings know, didn't cover up. They all hated Ron, he wouldn't shut the fuck up. I ain't even reading articles on some shit I like. Imagine 10 pages on the mechanics of a bike. Ron kept it simple, lived a boring life, but the hoes loved him, must have done something right. They didn't marry women like Wyman James. Tried to marry Ron, he said no, went insane. She said marry me or I'm DEAD. And she tried, he said no, so she went in OD. She survived, then woke up and she had her a ring. She said give me a baby, Ron said sure thing. Man, I need one like that, how y'all get them for free? All the ones that I find ask for money then leave. Started hating on Ron, she was just horny. He annoying as shit, post nut clarity. They still have more kids, they as dumb as can be. Ron turned 6, got divorced, that's the end of that fling. When the war rolled around, Ron got called up. Y'all heard he's a war hero on the battlefront. Only action he got was yelled by a director. Only battles he saw were played on a project. First motion picture unit was his only battalion. Bro, a veteran of the Battle of Culver City. Bro got PTSD from the Battle of Burbank. And they called him a vet, he didn't deserve that. I'd have thrown his ass in the middle of Stalingrad. I'd have made sure he got a bullet in the think tank. When he got divorced, talked to Errol Flynn. Errol said have fun and to be just like him. Womanize all day and drown in some gin. Ron dumb as fuck, he agreed, said I'm in. Talked to Errol Flynn, that's kinda sketchy. It's like dating advice straight from R. Kelly. Like human relations from P. Diddy. Fuck bad boy, shout out fit. Ron was washed up in old career, died and went cold. Kinda parallel with who he let be his world. Was a talentless starlet with we know as Nancy. Stepfather had class, so she kept getting chances. So many men took her on special dances. Till one idiot somehow struck up her fancy. I said she had no talent for acting, that is. She was more like a snake charm, except only dicks. That was one old bitch who knew tricks upon tricks. Couldn't act worth shit, so she just swallowed kids. Best head in Hollywood, what they was saying. Before Superhead, we had Nancy Reagan. But at that time, she still went by Davis. And out of all them dicks, Ron's was her favorite. Ron didn't give a fuck, bro was always cheating. Got bitches pregnant, had Nancy seething. Got Nancy pregnant, bro loved breeding. Ron, please wrap it up, at this point I'm pleading. This part's dark, I'll issue a warning. It adds to the rage that you're already storing. Aspiring actress, her name's Celine Walters. Ron approached at a club, he's as old as her father. 41, she's 19, and there's one thing he's after. She wants help with career, gave him address and number. 3 a.m. he showed up like a thief in the night. He was bigger than her, so she just couldn't fight. Although she really tried him with all of her might. She was boiling with anger as her skin turned white. Then 1 week later, he married Nancy. You really know how to choose him, don't you, Nancy? 2 R's in his name and one of them's rapist. The other one can either be retard or racist. See, one fun fact about old Ronnie Boy is that he would take anything you told him as fact, and he'd spew it out on a microphone. And you're trying to tell me that his brain was intact? He'd receive letters with bullshit in each, then he'd say yeah that's true and repeat in a speech. Some dude said Alaska had more oil than Saudi, so Ronnie repeated it ever so proudly. And they say Biden's was in mine. Reagan never had one. Anyway, hey. G had him on tours, giving speeches to work. Had him repeating right-wing bullshit to the workers. This made him a star throughout all of the country. Now he isn't just known for fucking around with monkeys. Around this time too, he started calling Nancy mommy. And honestly, Ron, this is probably the realest thing you ever did. I totally get it. Especially knowing she was the tongue demon of LA. I'd have done the same. It's still fuck you though. Hey. Ron's a puppet now and it never changes. Believing the shit he was spitting y'all's face. JFK was running against Richard Nixon, so Ron of course was sucking dick for Nixon. Nancy said he just like me. Can't let the liberals win, go get him, Ronnie. JFK was heavy pushing Medicare. Ron and Dick said no, that won't be fair. Said such a program would lead to the full government takeover of every area of freedom. Look how that worked out. Y'all took over everything, now I can't buy a house. Refuse to give a shit, now you're banning abortion. Trying to dump toxic waste into all of our ocean. The least you could do is give us free healthcare. Now we got microplastics fucking everywhere. Ron was now full-blown Republican. For the rest of his life, this some shit we in. Him and Nancy held a party when JFK died. Told the guests come through, we still turning up. Ron was soon convinced to run for governor. Of course, he set his sights on California. Give me a time machine, I swear to God, I'm stopping Ron from ever being born. Yeah. Ron starts touring, giving speeches, building up an army of white racist leeches. Called the Berkeley protest a form of anarchy. Spoke against civil rights and our right to vote. He's insane, so he's the GOP nominee. He's the devil himself, the killer of hope. Quick, Google Ronald Reagan lawn jockey. Yeah, that's the dude who just won the state vote. California back then was right-wing heavy. Ronald fuck y'all too, y'all just choose to forget it. Right-wing fanatics love to talk about guns. California's so strict, we can never have fun. But I bet y'all forgot Cali was open carry. But guess who changed that? Cause he was too scary. Bay Area shit, Oakland birthed the Black Panthers. All them racist white folks treated them like a cancer. They was just trying to live and build better communities. Tortured by the police who always got impunity. VPs got their guns and moved out in numbers. Peacefully assembled outside the state capitol. Just stood outside, unified and tough. Black people with guns, Ron said that's enough. There ended open carry in Cali, that's it. Oh, how far we would be if fools just weren't racist. Say you're hoping to God that's the worst Reagan did. Well, I'm sorry to say this is just the beginning. California now is in debt or recession. Ron cut hella budgets, ended free tuition. Fired thousands in the mental health field. Closed hella hospitals, a study revealed that just a year later, a single year, there was double the number of the mentally ill in the prison system, yet we wonder why. Homelessness is at an all-time high, and going to school costs an arm and a leg. All because of Ron, some students ended dead. Remember the protests in Berkeley? Now the story brings us to 69. Ron pledged to clean the mess in Berkeley. What he mean by that? I bet it goes fine. Operation Garden Plot was created for rights, but these kids was just asking for fucking houses. Wanna know about the man who ain't want us to vote? He said this at an OGP meeting, rough quote. The operation is in line with the 6,000-year history of man pushing the jungle back. And of late, the jungle has been creeping in again a little closer to our boundaries. Fuck you mean by that? No, really, what the fuck did he mean? The jungle, I wonder. Can y'all believe that's the man Nancy chose to be under? See, Berkeley had land that was supposed to be houses, but they ran out of money, so people just trashed. People saw unused land, cleaned it up, built a park. Of course, Ron had a problem, again, it gets dark. Had the school put up fences around the whole park. Then the students met up and they peacefully marched. Cops stood guard with batons, guns, and mace. Then the students turned up and sprayed water in face. Cops threw tear gas, the students threw rocks. Ron heard the news and made a couple calls. Groups of deputy sheriffs and untrained guards. Ron's office told them, use what methods you want. Cops moved in with more gas and baton. Then the students all ran, some cops used their guns. Shot at groups on a roof while they all screamed and cried. James Rector then died, he was hit 6 times. 128 injured, 30 were shot. One person dead, another went blind. Ron then lied, said the group on the roof was at fault cause they had many objects they threw down at bodies of sheriffs. What else could they do? It was lies cause the people had photos as proof. But it doesn't end there, why the fuck would it? He didn't get enough blood out of them students, cause just a day later Ron sent helicopters equipped with that gas that makes tears not no laughter. There was wind out that day but this breeze wasn't cool. The wind blew that gas into hospitals and schools. The National Guard then went out on their feet and just started arresting randoms on the street. Most weren't even attendants from yesterday's meeting. 500 arrested, then jailed, and then beat. Ron didn't give a fuck, he just doubled down. Why did nobody kill that clown? Then old Ronnie boy got his ass re-elected. 1970, won by 53. So of course his people said, be president. Nancy told him he should, so he did, god damn it. 76, but he lost, thank God. But that sigh of relief just wouldn't last long. Before we get into that, let's take a break, shall we? Let's talk just a little about his pookie Nancy. Must have gave our little Ron some pride. Throughout all of the bullshit, she stayed by his side. Nancy stayed 10 toes through the shit he was doing. She had her a good plan since the days they was screwing. This the dick of the man whose life I'ma ruin. Nancy got a good brain, UCLA Bruins. Okay, I admit I was just trying to rhyme, but we gon' loop the beat so I can take my time. Hey, I'ma take my time. Y'all gave that old dumb piece of shit 2 terms, that's a goddamn man. I really hate Ron, but I hated Mrs. 2. And with that being said, let's get into chapter 2. Hey, hey, chapter 2, what it do? Hey, Nancy getting smoked too. Hey, shouldn't have just shot Ron. Hey, should've shot your ass too. Hey, cut his old bitches off. Hey, should've cut you off too. Hey, would've been better too. Hey, now I gotta tear you. Hey. First of all, First Lady had a racist stepdaddy. Thought that blacks, Jews, and women were the scum on his patio. Man, oh man, how much Nancy loved them. Wonder how she got where she ended up being. We already went over how she sucked mad dick. Wonder if that made stepdaddy horny or sick. One thing Nancy didn't learn was how to spit. That's just one of many things that should give you the ick. Another thing when Nancy and Ron was still dating, she was cool with his kids, always laughing and playing. But she said, fuck them brats, don't bring them around here. Forgot they existed when she and Ron got married. Even then, they sent their own daughter out to boarding school. Only Ron Jr. lived with them, guess they found him cool. When Ron's other kids visited, they had a ton of rules. Ron let it happen, Nancy's top always came with rules. Where my right-wingers hate liberal hip. It's time for a fact that'll have you tripping. Perhaps you forgot, or maybe never heard. Nancy built Ron's schedule with an astrologer. Joan Quigley was in San Francisco, the city that got all the right-wingers pissed off. Your favorite prezi took orders from liberals. That's one mental shrine that just got pissed on. You like Nancy? Thanks San Francisco. You like Ronald? Thanks San Francisco. You like a speech policy or law he made? Thank that fucking hippie out in San Francisco. Y'all's golden years came from San Francisco. Dancing on Ron's grave like I'm at the disco. Shout out Curry, shout out the Niners, shout out the Bay, shout out Frisco. Ask Kelly First Lady, they got a mansion. The governor's house, it was nice and lavish. Guess what? Princess Nancy didn't like the mansion. Wasn't big enough to suck dick or do ranch. So her friends leased them another mansion. She complained again, said the state should finance. Like, excuse me, dumb bitch, they already did. Yet they still got the money to build one from scratch. While people were starving and digging through trash. Just so Nancy would finally shut her damn trap. And the house was finished when Ron left governor. The house Nancy bitched for never lived in. Now I see why her mouth was always full of dick. Cause whenever she talks, she annoying as shit. Bullshit didn't end when they got to DC. Fly her nail tech out to DC every week. Think your girl's nails cost a lot right now? Better thank God she ain't Nancy Reagan. Every fucking week her tech got round trip. Cross country shit for the same French tip. Ron did all of that cause she sucked good dick. What girl deserves it? Name me one bitch. If you head that good, stay the fuck away. I don't give one fuck what y'all got to say. You don't wanna have that for yourself every day? I'm scared of those powers, no way. They paid for it with taxpayer money too. Nancy didn't pay shit, it was you, and you. She should've been shipped off to sea in a boat. She fed Ron responses each time that he spoke. He was losing his mind like a lifetime of dope. And his wife made him look like a big fucking joke. Ron let it slide cause she had good throat. Jordan in the final, she never choked. If she would've necked me, they would've got my vote. But she didn't, so it's forever fuck that hoe. That's enough on Nancy, let's get back to Ron. To talk about things such as Contra Iran and other bullshit from his presidency. Chapter 2 is over, let's hear chapter 3. Now we're here, baby. Chapter 3, this the final part of our boy Ronnie. Take my hand, baby, come walk with me. Let's get into presidential fuckery. Ron got the nom for the GOP. Got George H.W. as his VP. George was in favor of equal rights and abortion, but for Ron left his views in the gutter and torched their slogan. Let's make America great again. Now I know why y'all love him, it's all making sense. He won using the Southern strategy. Just view racism, blame minority. To save money, he'd make cuts to welfare, which he called vacation money for the lazy. He announced a 10% income tax reduction. Here's a list of cuts done to make it function. Cut benefits to federal employees. Food stamps, child programs like WIC. Unemployment insurance and welfare, yippee. Also art, science, and humanities. How many programs he cut? About 83. Yet it only saved 41 billion. But he gave tax cuts to the oil industry. Let the military spend 28 billion. Supply side econ called Reaganomics, or as some call it, trickle down economics. When the fuck is that supposed to work? How much more fucked is it gonna get? So far that shit only trickled up. Damn near 50 years and we ain't seen a drop yet. They just blame coloreds or communists. Ron used that excuse to endorse horrid shit. 1984 in El Salvador, 4 nuns were raped, tortured, and murdered by a government-backed death squad that kept being funded by guess who? His advisor Gene tried to justify, said they weren't just nuns, they were activists too. I guess that gives folks the right to kill, cause they wanted houses and affordable pills. Then they tried to cover up, tried to lie. Ambassador refused, then he got fired. I wish John Hinckley did his job. All of Ron's bullshit, man, it could have been stopped. March 30th, 1981, Ronald Rapist left the DC Hilton. Then a real patriot, Johnny Boy, ran up like a G, showed Ronnie his toy, then blasted bro. That gun really sunk. Bullet barely missed the heart, got stuck in the lung. Like, damn, John, you couldn't have stood another foot to the side to make sure that he died. Every hood in the US would have turned up that night. You a hero though, a real American. Almost went and saved us from the current hell we in. Just imagine, man, that would have been great. Every year on that day would have grilled me a steak. The kids flew to DC to see him in ER. Pat and Ron were let in, Mike and Mar didn't get far. Nancy said, hold your horses, don't go through them doors. She lied to them and said he's too weak to see y'all. If only John, you know what, let's move on. Hey. Air Traffic Control Union wanted to strike, so Ron said, fuck you boys, if you want, go and try. So they did, 13,000 of them went on strike. So Ron said, back to work or you're banned for life. 1,300 went back, the others were fired. A bunch of untrained laborers then got hired, made firing acceptable in labor disputes, which is why till this day the people always lose. But at least there's a tiny bit of good news. Bill Clinton reversed it, what a good dude. That's how it was done, that's a stand-up cheater. Now that's how you handle having a good eater. Unemployment went up to 10%. You were called lazy if you couldn't pay rent. Can you imagine that? That wouldn't be great. I'm so glad that today things are so different. Ron's dumb ass tried to cut taxes again, but this time he had no support. Had to raise taxes, finally, damn. For the rest of his years raised them up times 10. Well, now there's more money coming in, so let's fund these guys fighting Soviets. Mujahideen, what a funny name. Bet this use of our funds will turn out okay. Just met their leader, Osama's his name. I can't wait to never hear from that guy again. Also now this Liberian dictator's my friend. Let's give him some money, is that where this ends? Guatemala had a general, won't even say his name. He was slaughtered, the natives, Ron gave him no blame. Even though those reports came straight from CIA, Ron still flew there to meet him and said he's okay. The administration said keep giving him aid, so he led another massacre the literal next day. 162 people now need a grave. Many more would then die in wave after wave. 200,000 Guatemalans were dead under Ron's terms in the name of fighting Reds. Then invaded Grenada, the UN condemned. Ron lied and blamed Cuba, said it's cause of them. Studies came out and boy were they damning. Ronnie's tax cuts almost brought us a famine. 500,000 were pushed into poverty, most of them children, fucking atrocity. But surely by now all the people would stop this. They'd get up in arms and get him out of office. But no, Ron of course got elected again. Aside from Minnesota, he won every state. In 81 was the first sign of AIDS. Government gave no fucks, they ignored every day. Even in an address to the press gave no hope. Imagine living with AIDS and officials made jokes. Ron refused to acknowledge the crisis at hand, and yet every year it went 2 worse from bad. April 1st, 87, the silence is broken. Ron makes a speech to all the hearts he's broken. At this point inaction had killed tens of thousands, and what he said next was even more astounding. When it comes to preventing AIDS, don't medicine and morality teach the same lessons? Man, send me back with a Smith & Wesson, or I'll use my hands and I'll beat his chest in. But we're not quite done with our buddy Ron, cause it's time that we talk about Contra Iran. So the Contras fought out in Nicaragua, murderous rebel group fighting communists. So of course Ron asked for some funding from Congress. Then they say no, we will not be involved with this. Ron then said he got support from the Pope. The Vatican then said fuck no, nope. 7 Americans held in Beirut. Ron said here's a plan, I know what to do. We sell weapons to Israel, sells to Iran, then Iran will let all our captives go on. So then they bring in some guy Oliver North. Operation Expand, someone pass me the rope. Congress has straight up forbidden the funding. Ron told them suck the wee-wee in my undies. Another idea is conjured in secret. To give Contras money, now nobody leak it. The Contras will get $1 million a month from the Saudis because we sell them weapons. Oliver North sets up bank accounts for the Saudis and others to put their funds in. Contras also got money from drugs, and yes, they got help from the CIA. They delivered weapons and helped them bring coke on a plane headed straight for the USA. Eventually, they cut out the middleman, kicked out Israel and sold straight to Iran. They mark up the prices as high as 10 million and give all of the profit to Contras for killing. Sandinistas were the left-wing Marxists. They shot down a plane in 1986. Only one survived, worked at CIA. Lebanese newsprints an expose. Ron gets on TV to deny everything. Most of the public don't believe what he say. Like finally, damn it, there's some backbone. Why the fuck did Ron get to live so long? All these pussies get lambasted and shamed. So of course they just start trying to pass on the blame. It was him, it was him, it was name after name. But before they got caught, all this shit was just games. Like it even came out they sent Iran a cake. How much more of this shit can the public still take? That's the way you treat your girl out on anniversary. Not when you and yours out committing perjury. Find me that time machine, I swear to God. I put bullets in Ron while he wasn't a surgeon. I know he's in hell, shit, put me there too. At least then I'll be able to give him one too. You can put me in jail for the things that I said. I won't stop till that geezer is leaking all red. I'll knock his ass out and then stomp on his head. Even in afterlife, I'd make sure that he's dead. Yeah. And fuck Ron for real. He makes me so upset. You notice I wasn't cracking like no jokes on this last part. That's how bad this remedial asshole fuck idiot bums me out. Like this song could have been 30 minutes if I didn't leave shit out. Like there were 2 dictators, one in Haiti, one in the Philippines, led brutal massacres. They were anti-communist, so Ron helped them escape their fates and put them on an island with gold bars and jewelry and 7 million cash to live out their lives. But not only that, but even though they ignored AIDS for so long, every year they slashed the AIDS research budget. Like imagine how much more ahead we could have been in the fight against AIDS if these idiots cared about anyone. These top 10 worst humans of all time. Almost as bad as Henry Kissinger. Don't get me started on Henry Kissinger, yo. Hey, and in case you don't believe me, I cite my sources too. The Clothes Have No Emperor by Paul Slansky. Reagan, An American Journey by Bob Spitz. Nancy Reagan, The Unofficial Biography by Kitty Kelly. Ronald Reagan, Myths, Truths by The Washington Post. The 43 Presidents, What They Said to and About Each Other by Nero James Pruitt. Behind the Bastards Podcast, Ronald and Nancy Reagan. The Dollop Podcast, episode 400, Ronald Reagan. A bunch of newspapers and shit too, like the Chicago Tribune, the Evening Sun, the LA Times, the New York Times, San Francisco Examiner, the Desert Sun, the Montgomery Advertiser, and shout out ABC News, 60 Minutes, Vice, and Wikipedia. Need more facts? Do your own research, bitch. I'm done. Big Bako.